How's it going, people? So I wasn't gonna say much about my van building in a sense of how I built it and how I went about it. I mean, obviously, if you look back at my videos, you'll see a rough little thing of how I went about it. But one of my main things is the spray foam insulation. Opinion. Listen to this. My opinion on spray foam. Right. So I have my van. When I bought this van, I was thinking of ways to insulate it, right? Because I've done other vans before, and I've used the whole way of doing rock wool and all the tape and all the time you got to do, and you got to have the Celotex board and stuff like that, and vapor barriering and all this sorts of stuff, sound deadening, the lot. And my brother lives on a canal boat. And he a couple of years back, got one made brand new, and I noticed that he had it spray foam insulated. And I thought, we were sat there, and I thought, why can't I do that with a van? And I have heard of it been done before, and I've heard about all the bad things and the good things. And after talking to my brother for a while and thinking, you know, what was the best route to go down, and even speaking to the guy that he got his boat done with, and I thought, why can't I use that in my van? Because it just makes complete sense. Obviously, I will say you've got to have a solid van to begin with, because there's no point in getting a rock box, filling it with foam, and then needing welding doing. Now, this is the next subject. So many people will go, "Oh, it's a welder's nightmare." If you're a welder out there and you are put off by a van that's got foam in it, you're a shit welder. I'm sorry, because it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. And everyone's like, oh, it'll give you cancer. No, it won't. No, it won't. Worst case scenario, you put a mask on while you're welding. Do you know what I mean? It's not rocket science, right? If you've got a hole on the outside of your van and it needs welding, right, this spray foam stuff, this is a prime example. I pulled this bit off my ceiling, which I don't need because it's on one of the battens, and I'll explain later on. But it comes off in a square. Look, so if I was to, this is only a thin bit that came off one of the battens on my ceiling, which I'm going to take off anyway. But you can imagine that was stuck to the ceiling, so stuck to a batten. You can literally cut around it and pop it out. Or there might be a bit of residue on the ceiling or on the walls or whatever, but you can scrape that off, and it comes off easily. It's not hard. You quickly go with a scraper, with a hoover, or with a brush, and it's gone. Or a bit of an airline, and it's gone around that certain area. And if you're clever enough, you can use a multi-tool and cut a square, pop it out. You can even use some of that normal spray foam and stick it back in again after you've finished. So it is not rocket science, and I will explain that where people are like, oh, it'll just catch on fire, and all it does is you know, if you were to weld it up, it would just be a fire hazard. No, I'm just going to show you something here. I will say I am in a bit of like a dark set at the minute, but that's just because I'm stealth camping next to a pub. So that's why I haven't got all the light in here, so just keep that in mind for you. If I get a lighter, windows are open, vents are open, don't worry, I'm not going to kill myself. So you got spray foam, right? So bit of spray foam, lighter, fire, right? Fire, spray foam. What? Look. It doesn't ignite, it won't stay lit, it just disappears. It just disappears on itself. No matter how long you hold that on there, it will not continue a flame. It just puts itself out. So for anyone who's out there in this world that's crying and thinking, oh, I want to spray foam, it might set on fire, or if you had a fire, it'll go up in flames. It won't, it's fire retardant. It won't set your van on fire and make it worse. If anything, that stuff that you're putting inside your van, which is like the vapor barrier, all the sorts of rock wool and stuff like that. Obviously, I know some rock wool is fire retardant, but it will still go up in flames if you put it on a flame, right? But it doesn't hold water, so you can. It's a closed cell. It's a closed cell. It won't absorb water, so your van is not going to rot from the inside out. the way I see it, if you're going to use something like a vapor barrier on your van, and then you're going to use rock wool, and you're going to use Celotex board, and you're going to use this, that, and the other, right? There's going to be little gaps here, there, and everywhere, right? Which are going to condensate, and it will rust eventually. But with spray foam, it fills all those little gaps and it stops it from condensating. I didn't need to do sound deadening, but I did in the end. I did put little squares on the wall just for my own peace of mind. But I got told afterwards by a spray foam guy that I didn't need to do that. I could have people stood on the other side of my window. I have the window open. I could be sat in here, try to talk to them from the outside, and they can't hear me. So for me, it's perfect for me to be stealth camping. I can be in here, I can have the TV on, I can have music on like quietly, and no one can hear me on the outside. So yeah, don't go reading into whatever you see on Facebook. Don't go read into every person's comment that they put on there and what you see on the internet. Do your research, get your right facts. And I will say, yes, it's a messy job when they first put it on, but once you've cleaned it back, I'll show you what I did in the video. So first off, my van was completely gutted. I put battens up on the walls and on the ceiling, so the spray foam guy had something to spray up to. So obviously you can imagine, I'll probably try and show you my ceiling actually, it might be easier. So as you can see up here, this is my ceiling, there's my roof vent. So I put these battens up, and they're on the ceiling, on the walls as well. So they're along the walls, they're on the door here. Obviously there was bits I didn't want to do around the doors, because obviously there's cables that run through there for the door hinges and the locks that run up the side of this door here. So it's not worth me putting it in there and jamming it up and making my door not work. So I have used alternatives in that door and in the back door where the only hinges are. But on the ceiling, if you can see here, you can see there was a batten here, same again there, same again there. That's for my ceiling to actually be screwed up to. Everything above that has been filled with spray foam. So same on the walls, all the way along the walls. I will show you the images. So I'll show you the image now of when I gutted it, and then I'll show you the image of when I put the battens up, and then I'll show you the picture of when the guy spray foamed it. And yes, it was a messy job, but once it was cleaned back and you put the walls up and you put the ceiling up. But yeah, don't go reading into whatever you see on the old internet. It's an interesting world when you throw that one out there. Whenever the subject of spray foam comes up, and so many people are like, oh, it's the devil. It's not. I think it's perfect for me. It is not hard to get off. It doesn't hold water. It's fire retardant. And people are like, oh, well, if it's on fire, you might catch cancer from the fumes. You're not going to be in it when it's on fire. And if you are in it when it's on fire, that's something wrong, right? And I will say, if it's... Most people who do a van build will use some sort of Celotex board or something in the walls. Or some, well, not everybody, but some people will use a Celotex board. And guess what's in the Celotex board? Spray foam. So, let's be honest. A lot of people are overreact about it, and me personally, I think it's a game changer. It holds the warmth in so well in the winter, and it's a lot cool. In the summer, everyone's in here like, it is cooler in here, because it is cooler. It's like a little igloo. To be honest, if I was doing the van, I'd do it again. I'd do the same thing again, and I'd try and recommend it to people. It's not what people make out it is. It's a lot easier and a lot more efficient than everyone says, because in reality, if I was to go down to about costs, go buy like a Celotex board and your recycled plastic, and you know, your sound deadening and your vapor barrier, you're gonna look, you know, you're looking, I don't know, to fully do one of these vans, 400-500 quid, 600 quid, probably more. I don't know, especially at the minute, it's probably even more than that. When I got this done, obviously I contacted the same guy that did my brother's boat, so he might have done me a bit of a deal, but he did this for, I think it was 400 quid, just over 400 quid, and that was sealing both walls and above the cab. And he came out with his Luton, with a proper machine, with a suit on, and sprayed it all up. He even masked it all up for me. So yeah, so don't listen to the people that you hear on the internet. Do your own research, and do whatever you're comfortable with. So if you're not comfortable with it and it doesn't sound right, then don't do it. But if it sounds good, go for it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, each to their own. But for me, happy days. I'm just going to say as well, thank you for the feedback that I've got back on my last video. Didn't expect it to go that far either, and I've just got 230 subs now. So to all my new subscribers, nice to see you. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you like these videos, obviously drop down the bottom, give it a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think. I don't mind. Everyone's got an opinion. It's perfectly fine, right? So if this is for you, job the good one. If it's helped you, happy days. Give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe, because that'd be amazing. Obviously, me putting up these videos and having subscribers and the likes that I'm getting on these videos is just helping me just know that I'm doing something right. But yeah, I'll leave that there, and I'm gonna get my coffee down, get some breakfast in me, and then I'm going to start my day. But I'll see you guys on Friday. Don't forget to stay safe, stay real, stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-da.